Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? So this is completed contract method, or one of my favorite questions to ask on exams. No, hint, right? There you go. Okay. So Shanahan Construction has entered into a contract beginning on January 1st, 2020 to build a parking complex. It has been estimated that the complex will cost $600,000 and will take 3 years to construct. The complex will be billed to the purchasing company at $900,000 following data pertaining to construction period. I'm not concerned with the progress billings or the cash collections. What I am concerned with is what is the amount of gross profit you're going to be recognizing during each year. So let's go ahead and start over here with 2020. So in 2020, my costs to date were $270,000. My estimated to complete was $330,000. So my total contract costs are going to be $600,000. So over here, in terms of gross profit, okay, so percentage of completion, I'm going to be recognizing gross profit as I go through and complete the contract. However, very importantly, if I have a loss, I recognize it immediately. Very, very important under any way we go. Completed contract, I recognize nothing until I get done with the contract. So my percent complete to date is going to be 270 divided by 600,000, or 45%. Okay. So also over here too, so my percentage complete to date is 45%. My gross profit on the contract, so my contract price is $900,000. Okay, gives it to us right over here. So my total contract costs are $600,000. So my gross profit on this contract is going to be $300,000. So the thought is behind percentage of completion is that I can recognize gross profit to the percentage I am complete, with the caveat that I've got to recognize all losses immediately. So here with this gross profit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take basically my percent complete to date times the gross profit. So I'm going to take 300,000 times this, less profit previously recognized. Okay, this amount is 0 because this is the first year of the contract. So the gross profit for 2020 is going to be 135,000. Okay, so I go to 2021. So in 2021, I had cost to date of 450,000. My estimated cost to complete are 150,000. So my total contract costs are still the same. My percentage complete to date is going to be my cost to date divided by the 600,000, or 75%. Now note, the actual costs during the year were around 180,000, right? Because I had 270 from before, I'm now at 450. So we come over here and my contract price is still the same. My contract costs are still the same, right? Still 600,000. So my gross profit on this contract is still the same. So my percentage complete to date times the gross profit is going to be 300,000 times 75%, or 225,000. However, I recognize profit last year. So over here, I'm going to say less gross profit from 2020. So the amount I recognized previously was 135. So my gross profit for 2021 is going to be $90,000. Okay. So again, percentage of completion, we can go through and recognize as we progress in the contract. Now for 2022, okay, this over here is 610,000. Okay, there is no estimated to complete, the project's finished. So my total contract costs are 610. I am 100% complete with regards to the project, so I'm going to go ahead and recognize the remaining amount. My contract price is still the same. My total contract costs are 610. So my gross profit on this contract is now 290. So I now need to go through here and say, well, I'm at 290. How much did I recognize during previous periods? Well, my gross profit in 2020, I recognized 135. My gross profit in 2021, I recognized 90,000. So my gross profit for 2022 is going to be 290 less the 135 less the 90, or 65,000. Very, very important. When I am done with this here, right, when I add up the gross profit for 2020, gross profit for 2021, gross profit for 2022, this is going to be 135, this is going to be 90, this is going to be 65,000. This has to equal the total amount of profit that I am recognizing up here. Okay, so this is percentage of completion. We recognize a percentage of it as we go through and complete it. The next one here is under completed contract. Is that what would be the estimated amount that we recognize? Well, guess what? 2020, $2021, both zero. Why is it both zero? Because under completed contract, we do not recognize anything until we complete the contract. However, if we are at a loss, we will recognize that. So here, my loss is going to be so over here, under 2022, I recognize everything in the very last year. So I'm going to recognize 900,000 minus 610,000, or here for a total of 290,000. My suggestion to you is that if you're in a situation where you're in a first year of a type of a client, or if you're in the first year of production or whatever else may have you, and you've never gone through and had experience, I would not recognize anything until the contract is complete. If you notice here, the total amount of revenue under both percentage of completion and the completed contract method are exactly the same. It's just that it's a timing difference. Percentage of completion, we're going to be recognizing it as we go through. Under completed contract, we recognize everything at the very, very end, but they both get us to the same amount. So I want to thank you for joining me here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a good one.